everybody. Hello, hello. How's the sound? Oops. Do I have it plugged in okay? Hello, everybody. I don't know if my sound is on. It's okay? Hi, Kate. Hi, Jane Finley, Super Queen, Kate Hodges, Sybil, hello. Hi, Tina. Everybody's hearing me great? All right, awesome. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. As you can see, we are trying to make this the official place where we do our readings. Looks like we're 210 strong, so I guess we can go ahead and get started. I'll be here for the hour. This is a regular get-together we do on Sunday. We answer people's questions about some of the remotes up to this point, some of the future remote viewings. Yeah, we have 2 messages from Spirit based on the meditations we've done the last couple of days. So that'll be fun. We also are going to be doing a collective. So the first thing I want to do before we start the readings today is to give gratitude to the donors. The channel does have a PayPal account. It was knocked down for a while because we changed some things around when we moved, but it's back up. So for people who donated to the channel via the PayPal, I just wanted to say thank you for that. We're always trying to improve the quality of the channel, so it's nice to be able to get support for that. The second thing I want to do is I want to thank Robin Brewer for the lovely earrings. Look at these. She made these. And they have that lovely fire that, you know, Aries, we love our fire. So, yeah, so I decided to wear red in honor of Robin Brewer making me such beautiful earrings. All right, so thank you to the donors. Thank you to the earrings. I've got a list of things I want to get through. All right, and so the next thing we're going to be doing, is everybody okay? Is everybody ready for the remote viewing? I'm trying to get through it really fast because, boy, you folks had a lot of questions for the Blitz today. That's why we're going real fast. Okay, let's do this. All right, so is everybody ready for last night's remote viewing? Yes? Okay, awesome. Okay, so the first thing that's coming up was I did meditate. Somebody had asked me if I could do a meditation on Donald Trump and the fact that he was nominated for the Nobel Prize, even though Israel has never been at war with the United Arab Emirates. It's not a border country. It doesn't border Israel. And but whatever. Okay, so they're increasing trade and flights between Israel and Dubai, whatever. Okay, so what I picked up when I went into the remote was that it was actually Donald Trump that wanted the Nobel Prize. He was very jealous of the fact that Obama got a Nobel Prize. He felt like he deserved a Nobel Prize. And I got the impression when I went into this energy that he was pressuring people to nominate him. And so if he got nominated for the Nobel Prize, I strongly suspect that he was maneuvering, making it happen in the background. So he was probably pressuring his people. He was, you know, and it's embarrassing, but it's going to come out that he probably was the person arranging to get himself nominated. And that's probably going to come out. More stuff is going to be coming out from Bob Woodward. More salacious stuff about his feelings regarding race, Black Lives Matters, etc. I mean, we're going to see more of that. This is kind of like going back to the remote we had talked about, where in the next couple of weeks, the military and everybody else is basically going to dump everything they have on this president. That's probably why we got the song "The Wicked Witch is Dead." But that was the story with Trump and the Nobel Prize. So the second remote I did was on Putin to just check. People wanted to know if Putin was going to accelerate some of the disinformation campaign that he had started in 2016, long before 2016. And it was interesting to go into Putin's energy because from Putin's perspective, he feels that he has already achieved much of what he already wanted. And what he wanted when you go into this energy is that he wanted to basically destroy the infrastructure, the economy. He wanted to collapse the United States and felt that he could do it without firing a single shot. That the dynamics of the political climate in the United States, the divisions that have existed here for quite a long time were such that he felt that he could exploit them through misinformation. And so he felt like he had accomplished much of that. He said that the competition for ratings between the various different cable channels that have marketed cable news to make it like a boxing match to get Americans to fight. CNN started with that genre. It was going to be like a boxing match. It was going to be like a sports match, and we were all going to get in and we were going to fight for our team. So cable news actually is, from Putin's perspective, is probably doing just as much, if not more damage to create animosity between different groups in the United States rather than a feeling of unity. So from his perspective, cable news was helping him. He said that it makes America a hostile, divided nation for years to come. So as long as people are watching cable news and as long as cable news continues to create a genre where we're all fighting for our team, we will see aggression and division. All right. So this next message is for the group. It's part of the collective. And then after we do it, we will be going into the collective message for the group. Hi, Larry Girl, Keisha Harris, and Michelle Taylor. I just want to give a quick shout out. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy days to moderate the channel. I really appreciate that. So this was an interesting meditation, and it seems to be directed for people who are feeling alone right now during the pandemic. If you're sequestered alone, if you're feeling like your life is over, if you're feeling like, well, I'm old now, or well, I'm disabled, or, you know, having a difficult time feeling that your life matters. Feeling perhaps that you've become invisible. Feeling like you've been discarded, perhaps, or forgotten. So this is the message for those people that are part of this group that have been feeling that way. And the message from Spirit is this: your life matters. And Spirit is also saying you must get your houses in order. You can save yourselves. You can save the planet, or you can go extinct. Your life matters until the last breath you breathe. In a society that values things more than people, we may come to believe that the old are to be discarded. We have a body, but in time that body will break down and it will be discarded. But you matter. Your life has even more value than it did when you were younger. And the reason your life has more value now than it did when it was younger is because you're wiser now and you have the capacity to hold the space for the hive, for the community, in ways you could not when you were younger. In plainer words, the imagery that Spirit is using for older members of the group is that you have arrived at a point where you are now the queen of the hive, the queen bee. You're the king drone. And so what's happened from the perspective of Spirit is that seniors, older people who are involved in the spiritual community now, because you are closer to piercing the veil, because the seniors are on a higher spiritual level, they're spending more time meditating and more time piercing the veil. This puts you in an opportunity where you can begin to do grid work. It's called grid work, where you can begin to manifest or hold the space for peace on earth, people cooperation, and imagining and envisioning the world you want. So even if you're disabled, even if you're stuck in a wheelchair and you can't move and your body is in extreme pain and you're spending all of your time in meditation, from Spirit's perspective, the older we become, the more powerful we become spiritually. And actually, rather than being invisible, you become far more a co-creator than you did when you were younger and just figuring things out. So now is the time to hold space, to do grid work, and to hold prayer and compassion for those who are suffering. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open the floor for people about the remote view and the message for people who are feeling alone, isolated during this pandemic, and the seniors, the people that really feel like they've just become discarded or, oh, my life. Spirit is saying that actually you're a pretty important player right now. Yes, the power of the crone, and also the wizard, the older male, the Merlins that watch this show, the mystical men, the mystical Merlins, the Cash Peters of the world, and the David Johnsons of the world. We have quite a few spiritually evolved magicians here as well. All right, so that was the message from Spirit. So hopefully that gives some clarity about everybody's role in terms of healing the planet. So now we're going to go ahead. We've got some time. We're going to do our collective reading, and then we're going to do a blitz. I'll be here until, I might stay till a little afternoon because we had a lot of questions. It's interesting. I started doing some very deep meditations when I turned 50, right around the time, you go through menopause and you go, Brene Brown calls going through menopause a breakdown. You go through a breakdown. You no longer have the energy to put on the facade and present yourself as something that you aren't. If your life is a lie, it all falls apart, and you are going to be an authentic person when you turn 50 plus, because you don't have the energy to be anything else. But that was also the time when I found myself being able to go into very, very, very deep meditations where I felt like I was right at the end of the veil. And when I meditated on that, the answer I got back from Spirit was that this is a very natural and healthy process as we transition from this world to the next. We get closer and closer and closer to the veil, in and out of the veil. And it's nothing to be frightened of. It's actually a really great time in our lives where we can begin to channel and bring down, like the high priestess, open the eyes and bring aspects of the spirit world into this world. All right, we're going to do a simple prayer, and then we'll go in and we will do the collective for the group. Sound good for everybody? And this message applies to you at the time you watch this reading. We are a hive mind, right? We've come here together as a collective. We're all resonating to this channel. And so hopefully, if Carl Jung is right, a collective reading should speak to all of us in some way. All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and my viewers as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records for the group. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journey so that we can make the best decisions for ourselves, for our families, for the planet, for the people we love, but also to help those we may have strife with. And together as a collective, we say, Amen. Amen. Let's go in. I'm excited to see what my message is going to be. So I know that you're all excited about the message you're going to receive. That's true, Paula. But if you hang out with us, being a crone is a good thing. One of my readers calls it, one of the fans of the channel says that she calls it the time of the queen. Not the crone, but the queen. We are the queen bees. The time of the drone, the elder drone, the king bee. The time of Merlin, right? All right, so this is a time in our lives that we are very much committed to seeking balance and moderation in all things. It's also a time when we are collectively looking at our values and walking the walk. If you are looking for a remarkable person to share your life with, this is the time in our lives when we begin to evaluate our own values, our own ethics, our own moral compass, and to place expectations on ourselves about the kind of person we feel we should be so that we can attract somebody that's basically on the same level. Hi, Pat. Thank you very much for that donation. In plainer words, this is a time when people are looking not only at their value systems, but who they want to hang out with, who their tribe is. And it's interesting to look at this because I've been thinking about this a lot, that when I was younger, I used to always complain that this boy didn't call me or that boy did this or this boy. But I now, as an adult, now that I'm 57 years old, I'm more likely to sit back and think, well, how supportive was I of the other person? How did I contribute? That kind of desire to create balance, justice. You can see the karma we're going through, the 11th house, because I pulled 2 base cards in my Celtic cross, is the ability to take control of one's own situation, is entrepreneurship. If you are starting side projects in order to get financially stable or just to get your business or your careers in order, Ace of Wands is great because it's actually the symbol of the lingam, which is healthy masculinity if you're looking at Eastern traditions, the symbol of the lingam. But it's an aggressive card that has to do with entrepreneurship, beginning new projects. What I like about it is that it's attached to the summary card, which is justice. So for those of you who are activists, who are protesting, who are involved in politics, this is a very clear energy. I am making my special teas. Thank you, Michelle. If people want to get teas from me, you just, when you make an appointment for a reading, after the reading, order a intuitive tea, and that's a separate thing. And then I just make the intuitive teas for the people that have made an appointment for a reading. All right, where we are at right now, divine communion. Look at that. We've got a nice 2 of cups, which is has to do with coupling, partnership, if you're in relationships with others, working at intimacy, working at communication. One of the things that a lot of us are going through right now appears to be establishing not just justice, but boundaries. This is, I think of as the executive brain or the prefrontal cortex for those of you who are psychologists, etc. I always think of this as the ability to step back and look at something objectively. It's interesting that we have a beautiful card here that has to do with coupling, relationships, partnership, falling in love, the sacred contract, seeking justice, taking control over one situation, right? We've talked a lot about getting our houses in order, coming out of a state of learned helplessness, making lists, doing an account and a reckoning, right, of everything that has to get done in the event of an emergency, right? We've talked a lot about that. But here we're also talking about the nature of our relationships with others. Do we have relationships of integrity? Do we call our friends back when they call us? Are we there for them in the way that they are there for us? This is about evaluating our actions with others, and it's also about establishing healthy boundaries and self-respect, even in relationships that are quite intimate, because Like I said, this is objective energy over sacred contracts. Justice, again, is about boundaries and taking control. So relationships can become imbalanced in the sense that, thank you, Carol Rosen, it's very sweet of you. Relationships can become imbalanced if we don't have healthy boundaries. This is interesting because it reminds me of the work of Brene Brown, The Gifts of Imperfection. A friend of mine gave me that book a while back, and I found it was quite helpful. She talked about how for love to really be healthy, there have to be appropriate boundaries, and you should, and self-respect. You're not chopped liver, right? What is above us, look at this, in the fourth house, the Hierophant, how we look towards God or spirit. So this is a time in our lives when we are probably doing a tremendous amount of meditation. What sits below us, concerns about the finances, concerns about if everything's going to be okay. Ooh, that's nice, that's good news. Concerns about whether or not we're going to be grounded, if we're going to get through this global crisis. This is about grounding. This is about finances. This is also the banker's card. I use it as the banker's card. This is my Pacific Northwest Coast card. You can see Hierophant coming in. Supposedly we're going to get rain tomorrow. I have a feeling that we're going to start getting rains in the next couple of weeks, and that's probably going to take care of a lot of this problem with the fires, particularly in the north first, Washington State. We're going to start seeing rains moving down the coast. But I do see a storm system coming in. It looks like it's in the South Pacific. Something is starting to stir as well. People are continuing to get their houses in order. You can see here the Hermit card, new beginnings, hopes and fears that we will have to let things go. There's a Strife card regarding letting things go. So I think that the people will continue to get rid of the things that don't suit us. This is a time when a lot of people are minimizing as well. It's not just about getting your house in order. It's about, what do you want to put your energy towards? Do you want to put your energy towards things, or do you want to start keeping your life as simple as possible so that you have more time to enjoy the things that make you happy? So that was kind of the last thing we saw in the card chart for people. All right. So what do you think, folks? Yeah, second Saturn. When is the second Saturn return? That might have been when I turned 50, everything fell apart. Everything I had built fell apart. It had to fall apart. Oh, about 57. I'm 57 now. Oh, goody, I'm in my Saturn return. That must be why I feel young, sexy, and beautiful here in beautiful Portland, Oregon. Yay, Michelle. All right, is everybody ready for the blitzes? Chiron return is at 52. Well, that's when I got my divorce, Fran. Looks like Whimsy hit all of her major milestones. Trying not to hurt my mic here. All right, so we're going to start the blitzes now. You know, I've been getting a lot of questions from England about the Brexit. Anybody here from England dealing with the whole Brexit disaster? Oh, Bob, thank you. I appreciate that, Bob. So Brexit. You know, it's interesting, when I've done remote views in the past about Brexit, it never happens. It just collapses, and because it's an energy. Brexit is an energy. So when you go in, and I'm Brexit, and I'm the energy of Brexit, and I'm putting myself in the middle of the remote, I can't go forward because there are all these other contracts and treaties, and there's treaties upon treaties upon treaties, both international and part of Great Britain, the Commonwealth. Yeah, I don't know how they're even going to do this, but let's go ahead and look at the future of Brexit. That's the first thing we're going to take a look at today. Evidently now there's a rebellion from the Conservatives. They've decided they don't want to do Johnson's Brexit deal. Evidently it violates international laws or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I'm a dumb American. Brexit, the future of Brexit. Let's take a look. Oh, Brexit is a disaster. This looks to me like multiple lawsuits, multiple cases. Look at this. That's Brexit. Chained to an unhealthy relationship, codependency, addiction, aggression, violence, COVID, the winds of change, aggressive winds. It can be fighting, aggression, anger, disruption, a bull in a china shop. They're going to be, look, if you're looking at Brexit, if you're looking at the 11th house, which is what this is, the Knight of Swords, if you're looking at that as their karma, then that's fighting, disruption, chaos. It's war. And then the base is they're chained to a situation they can't get out of. And so in plain words, they put themselves in a situation, Brexit, that they can't get out of, but they're getting nothing good out of it. This is what it's like to be in love with an addict. You just keep loving. There will never be enough love. You know, that's the relationship of Brexit. The legacy, right? The legacy card, what they were before, previous contracts, previous relationships, previous commitments, their relationship with their family, extension of the family, hidden, the end of a legacy. This is also a card where family secrets. I often think of Ten of Pentacles. You have generations coming and going, the elderly and the new, what the new are inheriting from the elderly, right? And then something changes or stops, a legacy stops. What is above, a feeling of being trapped by Brexit, or a feeling that they have placed, again, a situation, they're using imagery of chains. This is what happened last time when I went into Brexit. This happens every time I go into Brexit. People get mad at me because some people want Brexit, but I just have to say that this is somebody trying, this is like Theresa May. These are people trying to get out of it. Look at this. This is people wondering if it's even legal. These are scholarships coming in. Scholars coming in. This is a right, objective reason, wisdom, a strong female dealing with the fact that people feel entrapped by this situation, which is leading to disruption, chaos, fighting, what is around them. People have really tried to help make Brexit happen, but I don't. Complete confusion and chaos. It's like everybody's drunk. It's not workable. Spirit's been talking to people about this for 4 years. It's not workable. It doesn't work. It's not feasible. It cannot work. The only thing that can work is for them to scratch it and start again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for people who want Brexit. It's a mess, and I don't see it being a mess that's going to be unraveled anytime soon. It doesn't work. I don't know what to tell people. I'm sorry. I never get good cards. Ugh. The microphone is okay. Is my microphone okay, or is it scratchy? All right, so the next thing people wanted to know about the future of Katie Porter. So we're going to go ahead and look at, so not only did they collapse America, but it looks like they didn't treat Great Britain very well either. Okay, let's look at the future of Katie Porter. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've tried to learn something about Brexit, but it just, all I can say is, just as a remote viewer, when I go in, it's just not possible. That's just sorry, there's just nothing else to say. It's not possible. All right, Katie Porter. I've thrown 100 times on Brexit. I can never figure out how to make it work. Maybe they'll spend another 4 years arguing about it. Who knows? The future of Katie Porter. Oof. She keeps building power. Oh, thank you, Mercedes. She keeps building power. There's a 3 of Wands here, which is her karma, waiting for her ship to come in. It's also communicating, sometimes outside the United States. It's an entrepreneur's card. It's also a wish card. It's considered a positive card. People who are on the precipice of something really amazing will often get a 3 of Wands, and that's her karma card. The fact that her karma, or the base of the matter of the sum, is a card that we associate with like the prefrontal cortex or reason or rationale or the Judge's card, lead me to think that she has a very solid future. Where she is at right now, she has the Star card in her first house. So again, this is somebody who's very grounded, very strong. I know she was a professor at one time. That's the energy of the Emperor. Sits in a situation of power, sometimes a judge, very reasonable, very rational energy, waits for her ship to come in, has the Star over her. What's crossing her is a devastation, probably because of the current situation. What is above her? She's the master working at her skills. People are being very generous today. Thank you so much. Share Bear. Aww. Thank you, Share Bear. You can see this. This is the Mastery card. Katie Porter. What is above her? A battle. She's in the middle of a battle. There's something about walking away from a battle and alliances and being offered an Ace of Cups. They're at a situation right now, the Republicans are, where they are so beaten down, this is the crossing, the opposition, that they are willing to do just about anything, including listening to Katie Porter. Because the Ace of Cups is moving in over scholarship, and because the opposition had the Ten of Swords, I would not be surprised if she was in a situation where Republicans were going to her for help. This is a time where a lot of Republicans are going to be humbled because they really don't know how to get out of the situation that they trusted this administration, and then this administration put them in a situation which has basically wiped them out. And so now what's happened with somebody like Katie Porter, you can look at the cards. If other readers want to interpret it differently, I'd love to hear it. But this is the base, the summary. She's in charge. The opposition is wiped out. The Lovers, they're trying to, the Ace of Cups. She's in a position of authority. Look at that. Look at this. 7th house. She's got the Hierophant. She's going to help them. They're handing her stuff. I think she's going to make a deal with the Republicans. I think the Republicans are going to work with her. I think that I think there's going to start to be a split between the Republicans that support Trump and the Republicans that are trying to work with people like Katie Porter. I think that the end result is going to be that Biden's going to win the presidency. There's Biden. Water sign male, the great mediator, the bridge over troubled water, right? We've talked about this. And we can open the floor for second interpretations from if any of the moderators, some of them are readers, or if anybody else sees it differently, but I see Biden winning. I see some of the Republicans are not going to leave Trump, but many will. And I think that they have no choice because it's the only way we're going to pull ourselves out of this disaster. So no, Katie Porter's not leaving. In fact, quite the opposite. She's gaining speed, and the Republicans are going to her for help. And constituents of Republicans who had voted are going to her for help because they trust her. They trust her to care about their money. Thank you, Adventurous Spirit. It's very kind of you. Share Bear, thank you. And Mercedes, thank you. Okay, wow. That was so cool looking at Katie Porter, that she was this master and she was taking care of all the finances. And then the people who had voted for the Republicans and even members of Congress that had been Republican are now secretly meeting with her and saying, okay, well, what do you think we should do? How do we get out of this? So there's a softening there. What I like about Katie Porter's response to it is that I didn't see ego there. I saw, okay, let's get organized. You know, that kind of nice energy that you see when you get the Master's Cup. Thank you, Julie. That's extremely kind of you. Thank you. All right. So now Bob Woodward's book and the fact that he had information that the president was covering up the severity of the COVID crisis. He also had other things on tape. He has 19 hours of tape of the president. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. So the question is, why did Bob Woodward hold the tapes? And what was in Trump's mind? Like, why did Trump agree to this? Let's go in. Bob Woodward. We're doing good. Thank you, Super Queen Bee. I hope you're doing your meditations, keeping the hive together. Bob Woodward, why did you not release this sooner? I need to figure this out because I don't know either. Very strange, isn't it? You know, how do you answer a question like that? His argument has to, you know, this is what I felt when I went into a meditation about this last night. From Bob Woodward's perspective, this just feels to me like this is somebody who sees himself as a professional, that you collect the information, you coalesce the data, you begin to document the data, you have a thesis statement, then you support it with good journalism, et cetera, et cetera. So the reason he didn't release it earlier is because he had to coalesce data and it hadn't been documented yet. It hadn't been documented yet. The stuff hadn't been written. It hadn't been organized. So 8 of Pentacles is a card about mastery. So, and then Chariot, it wasn't ready to be released. In plain words, he felt that releasing it early would have been irresponsible if it hadn't been released within context. So he had the book, and then he had the tapes as substantiating evidence. And so he felt like it would not have been, it wouldn't have helped, and it actually would have hurt if he hadn't had everything organized beforehand before the tapes were released. That's his argument. Also, it had to do with contracts that he had with his publisher and the people that were that he was working with, there were judgments and decisions that were outside of his control in terms of what he could and couldn't release. So he also had some, there were legal reasons he couldn't do that. As far as Donald Trump was concerned, Donald Trump felt that if he cooperated and had conversations with Bob Woodward, that Bob Woodward would realize what a great guy he was and be charmed by him like everybody else. He thought he was going to be painted like a modern day Abraham Lincoln. That's what Donald Trump thought. That Bob Woodward was going to be fair and show him fair in terms of what Trump considers fair, and show him as the brilliant person that he is that's just been totally misunderstood. So this is something we've seen in the personality of Donald Trump before, which is that he sends flowers, right? Just like he sent gifts to Bob Mueller, it came out that he was sending gifts. This kind of gift or desire to, smooth things out or take control of the press. This has been devastating for the president, by the way. Yeah, there's more stuff coming out, and it's quite damning. You can see the High Priestess moving in, the opening of the eyes, Ten of Swords moving in for the president. Not good. The treasure trove. Dang, there's a ton. Look at this. Look how much information. This is information and abundance. Fertility. Oh, he was very generous. It's bad. I think the reason why Bob Woodward's book is going to be so powerful is because he's a scholar. Look at this. He's got a scholar as his outcome, the professional, the master as his base. He waited until, this is somebody who, it's like releasing a PhD dissertation too early. He waited until everything was ready for presentation. Yeah, you see, look at the cards he's getting. Prefrontal cortex, the rational mind, the opening of the eyes, the scholar, the ethos, the other person hanging it up. Trump is extremely angry right now. Confusion. The only way that they're going to be able to control the Bob Woodward book is to count on the fact that a large percentage of people won't read it or will get confused, and they will attempt to muddy the waters or twist the facts, because there's a moon card coming in, which is like lunatic energy. So I would not be surprised if they actually gaslit people so much that they no longer knew truth from fiction regarding this book. But right now it looks quite bad. Yeah, Renee. Oh, thank you, Renee. He thinks that he's Abraham Lincoln. Yes. He's not Abraham Lincoln. Thank you, Ian. That's very kind of you. All right, Michael Caputo. Michael Caputo? I think I did have... Michael Caputo was one of the questions, yeah. Let me see if we have time for that. Okay, so people want to know if the riots are going to escalate. People are concerned about that, so we'll go ahead and do a quick throw on the current. Oh, really? I didn't know that Lindsey Graham got in trouble for that. Okay, let's see here. The future riots. And people wanted to know about if any of this was arson, and the answer is yes, it's arson. That one of the people was arrested. Some of it is arson. He was a meth addict. The person that, and I actually found him on Facebook, the person that lit one of the fires here in Oregon. He was a meth addict, and he was part of an artistic community of addicts that were doing art and creative things in order to stay clean and sober. So he was connected to a really nice group. I don't know what happened to him, but he's definitely not Antifa. The riots. Might have just been a mentally ill person. Might have had no political motive whatsoever. All right. Yeah, I think that things are going to get increasingly bad for this president over the next 2 weeks. I think that it would be wise for him to tone down the rhetoric because he's very angry right now, but this is probably going to come to an end. You can see the Nine of Cups moving in for us. I'll go ahead and show you the cards, walking away from a battle that cannot be won, and then business comes in. So there's this feeling that people begin to stop fighting because it's starting to affect them. It's starting to affect the country and the economy. So there's a lot of anger about what's happening. There's a lot of feeling in the country that we need to come together and cooperate. You can see here a nice Four of Wands coming in. This is like a peace offering, a new beginning, possibly in spring of 2021. Things have smoothed over. People are upset about what they've lost. A new beginning. The Fool card takes a leap of faith into the Hermit mode. So this does not look like violence. This looks like instead that sanity kind of returns, and people we will move on from this. And there's this feeling of solid leadership coming in as well. In the next 2 weeks, Trump is going to be asked to make statements to tone down the violence. And if he's doing that in the next 2 weeks, it could be because in the next week or two, he loses so much of his Republican support that he's forced to have to take a moderate tone. And that's what I see. As I had mentioned in previous remotes, the military is outing him in the next couple of days. We've seen that. We've seen Coates and some of the other people coming forward. There'll be more of that rift. The fact that they felt that he was a threat to national security, that's going to start coming out as well. Okay, somebody wanted to know about the future of Andrew Yang. We'll go a quick throw on that. I think this country is going to be such a green country when this nightmare is over that if you even think about dropping a toothpick on the ground, people are going to come yell at you. This country is headed towards a very different direction than it's been. We're headed towards a time of extreme support for the environment, which is good. We're all going to be watching each other. Oh, he's starting creative ideas. Look at that. He's got a strong card. He's going to be he's getting involved in creative economic endeavors and possibly funding as well. Look at this. He's got a nice MasterCard coming in with the Queen of Cups, the Mediator, meditation, strength card, helping those. Look at this, the bouquet card coming in. It's very nice. Yeah, he really is looking at helping people start businesses, get on their feet, the crash. He wants to open up programs to show people basically how to become financially independent. This looks like programs he's going to be starting in response to this crash. He is going to be able to get some type of funding or investing. Yeah, look at this. The Empress Card. He's going to keep on doing what he's been doing, which is helping people who are poor people, people who need help starting businesses, etc. There's a lot here about frugality, money, knowledge about finance, learning, also learning a skill, and funding projects, issues of poverty. Yeah, I think that his future, Andrew Yang's future, is helping to alleviate suffering of poverty by creating more entrepreneurship, which is pretty much what he's wanted to do. But this looks like he has his own institute or foundation or something going forward. It's kind of interesting. All right. Now, I'm going as fast as I can through these blitzes. Is everybody having fun? All right. The future of Bill Barr. I never see good things for Bill Barr. Defending his decision, 7 of Wands, multiple attacks, watching money, watching coin. Fool takes the leap of faith. This is a guy who I have a real hard time reading. He always, he's just hard to get in. More information coming out about the Mueller investigation that was hid. There was a second layer to the investigation, which is going to be made public soon. There's the Justice Department. There's Mueller. Fool takes a leap of faith regarding his previous alliances, but he's defending himself. There are multiple things he's defending. I always see him negotiating some kind of deal for the president for Donald Trump. It always comes out like if Donald Trump has to resign, or if Donald Trump is in trouble, or if he needs to negotiate resignation in exchange for immunity, Bill Barr is the guy that's going to help him do it. I've always felt that. I've always felt that, just like Michael Cohen said, it's been in the works for a long time, that Rudy Giuliani was helping him, that Oliver Stone was helping him. Not Oliver Stone, excuse me. Roger Stone was helping him. And this is a guy that if it has to help Donald Trump get out of Dodge, he will. And he sees that as his job. He sees his job as doing what the executive branch wants, helping the executive branch. Whatever the executive branch wants, the executive branch gets. Okay, this question is for Ian. It's the future of Michael Caputo. Oh, Tina, it's a disaster. All right, Ian, let's see. The future of Michael Caputo. Not good. He has unhealthy relationships. His base card is the Devil card, which is unhealthy relationships. However, there's a new king coming, the King of Cups. Thank you, Maxine. Very kind of you. The King of Cups, the great mediator, a water sign male. I think that's Biden trying to smooth the water. Six of Pentacles, meeting with strife. We could see the end of his career, Mr. Michael Caputo. We could see a death card moving in here. Look at this. Gap stop. Something is ending for Michael Caputo. It could be a job. I feel like Michael Caputo feels that Donald Trump is an impediment to the work he's trying to do. Everybody is starting to feel like Donald Trump is actually making their job harder. He will either embrace a Biden presidency or he'll leave, because the feeling going into this with death and going straight into a Knight of Pentacles, which I call a gap stop because it's the only knight that doesn't go anywhere. He's stationary. I would say that he will either end his relationship with this administration or he will lay low and then try to in some way to work with a Biden administration. But this is somebody who's finding it very, very difficult to work with the current administration. It didn't say anything about like Russia or anything like that. It was really more about the fact that it was a very difficult working environment. People want to know about the economy and whether there'll be a stimulus check. So we're going to go ahead and look at the future of the economy and whether or not there'll be another stimulus check. I also want to look at how the Republicans are handling the new economic crisis, because that Katie Porter thing we saw suggests that they're trying to Thank you, Indira. That's very, very kind of you. All right. The future economy and the stimulus check. How the economy is going to be. Whoa. See, this is the situation right now with the Two of Swords. I don't think that, there's a lot of problems right now. Nobody can agree on anything. You've got Mitch McConnell. There's no agreement on the budget, the relief. But you can see moving in the Karma, Three of Pentacles to get a contract going. But Two of Swords, I would say there's problems in communication between Republicans and Democrats. They're going to have to, there has to be, whether it's going to be virtually or literally, there has to be some kind of a meeting of the G7. There has to be. Because when you go into this energy, this is a feeling like world leaders have got to meet, and we have to deal with this. We have to deal with this on a global level. This is a global collapse. This is not a collapse of the American system. This is a global collapse. And so this is a feeling like they had to cancel one of the G7s, but the World Bank, G7, etc. This is a feeling like they've got to meet. I think this is the head of the World Bank. She comes up a lot as the Queen of Cups. I don't know her name. Yeah, there's this frustration about meetings that are not happening, travel that's not happening, decisions that have to be. It's a disaster, but nobody has a plan. That's the best way for me to describe this energy. Nobody's communicating. Nobody knows what to do. Trump's administration is only making it worse. There's also this feeling that Trump is not making things better. He's making things worse. We're looking at the concern from the World Bank globally is we're looking at a global crash. A crash has to happen. Yeah. And then rebuilding. The crash has to help because the economy is being built on things that are not sustainable. And so anything that's not sustainable is going under. Like, I don't think that people are going to be eating animals for much longer. I think that that's probably going to be phased out in the next 5 to 10 years, just because the fake meat products are starting to taste more and more exactly like real meat. Secondly, it's horrible for the environment. We can no longer maintain it. Third, there keep being all these hurricanes that are destroying all the factory farms and all the slaughterhouses. And we can't financially continue to bail these industries out. So the fact that there's a page of pentacles coming as the final outcome leads me to think that this economy must collapse so that we can build an economy that's sustainable. So collapse is inevitable. And it's not, and I say that not to be negative, but because it's just what has to happen. There's probably going to be a major shift in production. The types of industry has to change, and I just see us moving in a different rhythm financially and in terms of the type of industry that people are focusing on by spring of 2021. Because one last thing before we close today, you can see here, the reason I say that is strength coming in, strong female energy, abundance, fertility, there's confusion and frugality around them, the hopes and fears, fool, strength card of a magician coming into power, and then new economy after their crash with a page of pentacles. The only economy that can survive with the coming changes to the planet is a green economy. Everything else has to go under. Wow, what a day for readings. We can close now. We've already gone 3 minutes past, or we can stay and do another 10, 15 minutes of reading just because we didn't get to all the blitzes. There's a couple more blitzes. We have 3 more blitzes. You want to stay and do 3 more? Yeah, let's stay. Okay. So the next one was people wanting me to look at Jared and Ivanka. So we're going to look at the future of Jared and Ivanka. Oh dear, Jared and Ivanka. Now, so for those people who've been watching the channel for a while, it's kind of a weird story, Jared and Ivanka, because when I did a remote view on the raid of Michael Cohen, when we went into the remote, we saw that Cohen had received a phone call, probably from Eric Trump, being told that he had to destroy certain documents that were associated with signatures by members of the Trump family. And one of the names that had come up, one of the signatures was Ivanka Trump. Then we did a remote where Michael Cohen was communicating with Ivanka Trump and telling her that she had to cooperate with the federal investigation because the feds already had everything. Then the book came out last week showing that there's $40 million missing from the campaign fund, and Ivanka Trump signature was all over the Trump properties, and that she had been inflating the prices of things. So there's 3 federal investigations. So I imagine, as the remote viewer, if you're talking about the energy we went into during the raid, I imagine that that's this. But this is not the end, because the other thing we saw when we went into the remote was that she also had her signature, Ivanka did, on illegal deals in real estate. We also did a remote where she was fighting with Jared. She had lied to Jared about whether or not she had signed certain things because he had found out about the investigation. And then later she confessed that in fact she had signed things. So, yeah, it's a mess. Let's take a look. Jared and Ivanka. Peace, love, and harmony. Yes, there's a Page of Cups, which is a desire to heal. 4 of Wands. Marriage card. It's a wedding canopy. Love, 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 love. Trying to make it through. The Queen of Wands is coming. Fears of being cornered. Justice coming in. Look at this. This is the feds. She was given an offer. She was given an offer. So this looks to me like Ivanka. She could be cooperating with a federal investigation. You can see the healing card, the offer here, 4 of Wands. Here's the justice investigation. It's a gap stop or an end of something. They could be wrapping something up, an investigation. She has a fear of being in legal trouble. 9 of Wands could be a feeling of being cornered, trapped. Yeah, there's the flim-flam, the juggling of coin. Walking away. I think she's leaving DC. She might be able to slip out of this. In exchange for immunity, she might cooperate with an ongoing investigation just because of the fact that that offer, that healing card came in, the fact that the 10 of Wands is there packing up and leaving, the 9 of Cups is the outcome. She's very lucky. I mean, she's definitely knows how to manipulate. She knows how to use her looks to manipulate. She knows how to slither out of situations and play innocent. I think she made a deal. I think it's already happened. But I don't think the problems are over for her because this is just one investigation. There are multiple investigations. There are also state investigations. So she could leave and temporarily be out of trouble, but I don't think she's going to be able to stay out of trouble. Not with cards like that. I think they're both in serious trouble. But I do think she's already talked to the feds. All right, we're going to look at the Durham investigation and the results of the Durham investigation. What is going to be the result of the Durham investigation? Goes fast, doesn't it? Like I come here for an hour and then it's like boom, boom, and it's done. It's a mess, the Durham investigation. You know what happened with the Durham investigation? He kept hearing all these rumors and fake news, and then he would chase the rumor, and it would lead to a circular information. So he would go, and it would be put out by the same bots, and then it was all these starts and stops. That's what it looks like. Starts and stops. Rumors. He investigated rumors that didn't go anywhere. Rumors that originated in... No, I don't see anything coming from this. And I do feel stressed, like I'm supposed to produce something, but instead I'm just getting flim-flam, money back and forth. If anything, when I did the investigation, I started thinking, hey, there's actually something to this. Walking away. Look at this. The conclusion I would have, if looking at this information about whether or not there was anything coming out of the Durham investigation, no, I don't think anything's going to come out of it. I think it's complete confusion. And if anything, I feel like I'm being pressured to produce something that doesn't exist. It's just like a story. It feels to me like a story. And it's almost like they want me to make something up. It's very strange energy. All right, everybody. Those are the blitzes for the week. Thank you for spending your brunch with me this Sunday. I always like having my brunch with you. I was going to actually make myself something to eat, and I never got around to it. Don't fall asleep. All right, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and close. We want to also say to give a special prayer to the firefighters, everybody who's risking their lives right now to put out the fires, the volunteers. There's a lot of really good people that are putting their lives on the line right now, and so we just want to give special prayers to them that they stay safe. And before we close, does anybody want to close with some gratitude about what they're grateful for? Want to share it with our group, and we can go ahead and close. Do we want to share some gratitude? Cheer us up. Anything great going on in your life that you want to share with the group? Grateful for the group, me too. Grateful for your mom. Ooh, if you have a great mom, that is a grateful thing. Ooh, look at all this gratitude. It's great. Grateful for the teachers, the granddaughters. Yes. Beautiful. Puppy. I love that. Another day. We're all alive. We're here. We're safe. Hopefully all of us have enough food to eat. Everybody's hunkering down. Be about your business. The next couple months can be a little shaky, so make sure everything's getting taken care of. Your life matters. Remember that message from Spirit. You are not invisible. You are very much seen and very much appreciated. And keep the space and keep the prayers coming because they do help. Thanks, everyone. Love and light. If you're still trying to get in for a reading with me, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. If you'd like to make an appointment to see me as a naturopathic doctor, I do have telemedicine appointments available. And that website is drwhimsy.com. The information is below this video. Peace out, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.